4 weeks ago, the walls were just closing in on Mr. Lax. There was nowhere to go. The door was locked in his Lacrosse laboratory. If he went outside, he heard it from the people who had invested so much in his Lacrosse knowledge, and then he was letting them down. If he read the internet, his personal emails, he was getting blasted by people. It was time to put Mr. Lax in a box, tape him up, and send him away. And that's the time in your life, even a guy like Mr. Lax needs the people who love him, that are around him, to step up and be with him. And then that's when I really found out there are those who love to watch Mr. Lax struggle. They really do. But that's at the point when Mr. Lax said, he is gonna flip this thing. He's gonna bust back into his laboratory. He's really gonna focus. He's gonna get down there. He's gonna win some face-offs. He's gonna make some saves. He's gonna make some extra passes, and he's gonna do a little extra homework. And he's gonna get the cobwebs out. He's gonna get the indecision out, and he's gonna go out like a champion. It was just 3 weeks ago that Mr. Lax said he would run the table the rest of the year. What has he done? Ipso facto. A week ago, he went 7-0. This week, he felt pretty good about his picks. And then when you do the television show, there are certain games you can't pick, i.e. the Long Island Championships. That's when Mr. Lax said, at the urging of those people who loved him, well, you need to pick the games. So I put them in a sealed envelope. And then the conspiracy theory. Do those picks count towards what Mr. Lax does? This is a visual medium. He does not play to the United States Post Office. And then the ones you love really, really set you back. Mr. Lax realizes he's in this alone now. There ain't anybody out there rooting for Mr. Lax. Not a single person. We will break down the conspiracy theory in just a bit. And as Mr. Lax said, he was going perfect the rest of the year. How'd I do? 7-0 a week ago. The first pick this week. How could Mr. Lax go against his number 2 team that was the only undefeated team left in the state of New Jersey? In the non-public A championship, I knew the game would be great. I didn't know it would be as great as it was. And when J.J. McBride, with just over a minute left in the second overtime, found the back of the net, Mr. Lax ran the total to 8-0, and Del Barton ended Bergen Catholic's season.
You may have won that pick, but that speech you gave at the beginning was a joke. Are you kidding?
Non-public B championship, Immaculata. This game was crazy. A couple of touchdowns and a field goal for the Spartans. Good team offense, and they beat Mo Beard by 4, 2-0.
Give me more, give me more. 2 wins, I'm still not impressed yet.
All right, take it easy. Group 1 championship in New Jersey. I thought this was an easy one. Christian Cuccinello went over 100 points for his season in this game. The Lakers rolled over A.L. Johnson by 12, 3-0.
All right, we're starting to warm up to this thing. I like it. You're getting better.
That's 10 in a row, the bearded man. Group 2 championship. We said that Somerville would have trouble scoring. We didn't realize that Summit would have trouble scoring as well. Bebout, the goalie, was great. He did enough. Summit wins again, 4-0.
If you go undefeated this week, I'm done. You win, I'm off the show.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Group 3 championship. Ridgewood, who's playing wonderful lacrosse. Leparo, Sider were great as they rolled over Moorestown 13-4, 5-0 on the week, 12-0.
I'm starting to get nervous. You're getting really good at this thing.
You're darn right I am. The FCAC Championship, Peter Lindley was flat out spectacular for the Blue Wave of Darien. They beat Greenwich 11-5 to win their first FCAC title since 2011. Mr. Lax still rolling.
There's a surprise. You picked Darien. You'll never, ever, ever pick against them.
Now Now he's telling me what to do. Suffolk A Championship, Smithtown East. This kid, Jerry Aseri, the Fogo, flat out spectacular, was again in the West Islip game. Smithtown East, their first ever Long Island title.
Mike, I'm speechless.
Good.
You're just too good.
Good. Suffolk B Championship, Rocky Point. The great Jack Sullivan was dominant in this game. They had just enough offense to get by the defending champs, Miller Place, 6-4. Last time I checked, I'm still perfect.
You squeaked that one out, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But a win is a win, man. The postseason's all about surviving and advancing. Massapequa, Wednesday night in the New York State semifinal, just rolled over Niskayuna. Jimmy Burns, fun. Ryan Tierney, fun. Paulie Delina, fun. Except if you were Niskayuna, 23-9 for our number one team.
Don't get too cocky. Anyone could have picked Massapequa in that one.
And you do a good job picking girls' games. The B semifinal, Yorktown and Lynbrook. Palmadesso, sensational. Davukai, sensational. Fusco, just a flat-out intimidator. Huskers finally get through a Long Island team, and they beat Lynbrook 9-6.
Did Clark give you inside info on that game?
I don't listen to him. Class C semifinal, Bronxville, Babylon. This guy, Charlie Terry, Babylon will tell you, number 19, Nick Santorelli will tell you, he's really good. The junior pole going to Princeton, terrific. Henry Grass, the junior, going to Hopkins. He had 8 points in the 13-7 win last night.
I don't think you'll ever lose again, will you?
If I bring you on for the next pick. Ridgewood Del Barton, Tournament of Champions semifinal. Del Barton was down at the half, and then J.J. McBride bailed his buddy out, Mr. Lax. Huge second half, career high, 4 goals. Del Barton doubles up the Maroons.
That was a nice pick. Keep it going.
Summit was the favorite against Mountain Lakes. Mr. Lax did not think so. And James Strabley ruined Mountain Lake season and Mr. Lax's.
Oh, Mr. Lax, reality set in. You lost the pick, and you still have me. I win.
12-1. So Mr. Lax, when he yelled out there that he was going to be perfect the rest of the way, has gone 19-1. That ain't perfect. Now the conspiracy theory. Mr. Lax was feeling pretty good about himself last week, and people asked, who are you picking in the Long Island finals? I said, I can't pick. I can't get into the studio. There's no time. They said, fill out a ballot. And I filled out a ballot. And I liked Smithtown East to beat Massapequa. Lost by a goal. I liked Rocky Point to beat Lynbrook. Lost by a goal. I liked Locust Valley to beat Babylon. I lost by 4 goals. And then the toughest loss of all is when your friends team up on you. I wasn't going to take the wins, and then Raph, Jimmy, and Jackie teamed up on me. And Raph, why would you guys do that to me for unofficial picks?
They're not unofficial. A pick is a pick. Sealed envelope, on the internet, on TV, they're picks. You lost. Deal with it.
Do you pick games?
No.
And we know Lauren doesn't know how to pick a winner. So, there we go. Buddy, head up to Cortland. Good luck with the girls' championship games.
Mike, pick some girls' games.
What?
Exactly. See ya.
Suffern to win it all. Cold Spring Harbor to win it all. And I think maybe Manhasset is in trouble.
All right.
Maybe a little too confident over there at Manhasset.
We'll review those picks next week on Tuesday.
Where does Raff Avenue lead to?
We're going to Cortland.
See you, buddy.
Winners Row.
Who's he talking to?
Oh, sorry. This way, not that way.
Get him out of here, Russ. Get him on the road. God, I'd hate to be Dan, having to drive up there with him. Okay, So take it for what it's worth. On TV, Mr. Lax has been on fire. Let's get it on! The New York State A Championship. You can't win an overall state title if you don't win a Long Island title. That means Massapequa has an opportunity to do what? Win a state title, because they finally got that Long Island title when they beat Smithtown East. I think Radomski and the guys can now take a breath. We saw it in the semifinal victory over Niskayuna. Niskayuna, who hadn't allowed more than 11 goals in a game all year. Now listen, they're not a great defense, but still, haven't allowed over 11 in a game all year. The Chiefs had 15 at the half, 23 for the game. Right now, the only team that can beat Massapequa is either Fayetteville Manlius or Massapequa. Massapequa lost 2 games this year. March 26th against Chaminade, March 29th against Garden City. That is ages ago. Fayetteville Manlius has lost 3 games this year. 2 back-to-back, April 1st, April 3rd. So what does that tell you? You have the 2 best teams representing the state of New York in the championship game. Fayetteville Manlius needed extra lacrosse to get to this game. Beat Fairport 10-9 in overtime. For the Chiefs of Massapequa, they have won 14 consecutive games with double-digit scoring. Delina, Kirby, Hawthorne, Tierney, Burge, all looked flat out sensational on Wednesday night. Barney looked great in the championship game against Smithtown East. Burns, we told you about. 18-3 Fayetteville Manlius against number 1 Massapequa in our poll. If they are to win their first ever state title, they will finish number 1 in our final poll. Pressure, you bet, against Smithtown East. Not in this game. Put a face on the Chiefs. Bing, bing, they ring the bell. Jamesville DeWitt, a traditional upstate power, is so glad they're back in this championship game, because they've lost it 2 years in a row after winning it in 2011 against Garden City. And wouldn't you know, Yorktown, after losing 6 consecutive semifinal games to teams from Long Island, gets a team that is dying to play the Huskers. Let's get it on! When they lost to Garden City last year, these cats from Syracuse had one thing in mind, and it wasn't to get back to the title. It was to get back and win the title. And they have a very good opportunity against Lynbrook. Little worried about DeWitt. Victor is not a traditional power out of Section 5, and they gave Jamesville DeWitt all they could handle in Wednesday night semifinals. Jamesville DeWitt led early. Victor came back. DeWitt closed it like champions do in the second half of that game. 19-2 on the year. A much better overall record than Yorktown. Yorktown had themselves a very, very nice game against Lynbrook, a very good Lynbrook team. Luke Palmadesso was flat out spectacular Wednesday night. Mike DeVukai, he was the offensive force for the kids from Section 1. Ryan Baker, Connor Veracruz, couple each. Best player on the field the other night for Yorktown was number 13, Syracuse-bound Austin Fusco. And last time I checked, Jamesville DeWitt is in the suburbs of Syracuse. What a day for Fusco to build on that legend at 1:30 at Hofstra. Jamesville DeWitt, they can score. That means my man Austin Graham has got to play the game of his life. He has been almost a 3-year starter for Dave Marr. And if Marr is to get that first title the Huskers got since '03, he's going to need the little big man between the pipes to step up and play fantastic lacrosse. Jamesville DeWitt is hot right now. They've won 15 consecutive games. They have been consistent for most of the year. Yorktown has been inconsistent. The consistency that you will see on Saturday from Yorktown is in the alumni base. They're all coming out. They are all those Carcaterra boys going to bring all their friends. They're all going to be there. They're all going to be there to watch their buddy, Dave Marr, and their alma mater. Dave Marr thought this was easy when he took the job in 2003. In his first year, ding dong, he rang the bell. In his first year, they won a state title. That was 11 years ago. That was also their last state title. It has not been easy. There has been a curse like none other trying to get through these cats from Long Island year in and year out to get to the championship game. You can't win a title game if you don't win a semifinal game. The curse has ended. The last time that Dave Marr led Yorktown to a state title was in '03, and they beat Jamesville DeWitt. That will not be the last time because they're going to do it again. Put a face on the kids from Section 1. All these people up there in Cazenovia, I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere in New York. Are thinking we're 22-0. Look at these guys from Bronxville. 6 losses, and we beat them a year ago. Breakaway layup, or is it? Let's get it on! The Class C Championship. When you break it down, I've said this before, Bronxville has played one of the best non-league schedules in the tri-state. I truly believe when Bronxville is healthy and they have full health, if Barron's is healthy, if Grass is healthy, that these guys could play in the A division and be a major, major factor. They have players galore all over this team. Maybe the fastest kid, after watching again last night from Hofstra at a high angle. Earlier this year when I watched him from field level. But what I got last night, that Henry Lilly, number 3 for Bronxville, may just be the fastest lacrosse player in America. Oh my golly! Somebody's got to offer this kid a scholarship just based on his speed. He's a 4-4 guy who's an automatic transition guy. Get it and go. Love him. Michael Crawford, number 2. Great teammate. Head up, gets people involved. Aiden Walsh. Owen Jones, when I watched him against Greenwich High in person, he's the Yale bounder. Great at the face-off. Like him a lot. Willie Duncan, you know about Barron's and Grass. On and on. Barron's is healthy. This will be now the 5th game. Last night was the 5th game he played this year. Uh-oh. And you've heard me talk about Andrew Harwood. Gets overlooked on this defense. But to me, the guy, I know Barron's and Grass, blah, 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 blah. Charlie Terry, stud. Stud. Absolute stud. Love him. A year ago, Bronxville went 22-2. They lost this game 13-11 to Cazenovia. They have 6 losses this year, and this is a better team. When you break down Cazenovia, they've only banged up in class twice this year. They played 2 A schools. They beat Penn Yan 8-6 in the semifinals to get here. They win with defense. They've only allowed 66 goals this year. That's 3 a game. Do the math. 22 times 3, 66. They have offensive players. They have 3 wonderful offensive players. For some unknown reason, cannot figure it out, Bronxville hired a party bus to bring them to the semifinals. It wasn't an academy bus. It wasn't a Greyhound bus. It wasn't a yellow school bus. It was a full-fledged party bus. They're coming in a school bus on Saturday. And when they hand the only remaining unbeaten team in the state of New York A loss on Saturday, there'll be a party on the yellow school bus going home. Woo! They built this team to play big games in the regular season to win games like this. Bronxville will ring the bell. On March 29th, I drove to Morristown, New Jersey with my daughter Katie. She wanted to go to see Del Barton play. She wanted to see this beautiful campus that I talk about on and on and on. And then she said to me, Dad, they really don't attack much offensively. You know who they were playing that day in that cold mist? They were playing Summit. And you know what? She was right. Let's get it on! Right now, Del Barton is going to tell you they're a great third quarter team. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Because if you wait 24 minutes on Saturday in the Tournament of Champions championship game against Summit, if you wait for a half to start playing, get on the bus and go home. Because if you fall behind against Summit, you ain't beating the Hilltoppers. So if you're Del Barton, why don't we do this? Why don't we treat the first quarter like the third quarter? Why don't you get a great warm-up and come out with some intensity and come out with some passion? Back on the 29th of March, ages ago, they came out lethargic in that game. They looked for the perfect shot instead of attacking. They have wonderful players. Jordan Dowiak, let it rip, brother. Take 12 shots in this game on Saturday night. JJ McBride, go do your thing, bro. Let these guys go. It's Belmont Day, Belmont Stakes in New York. Well, you know what, Rubling? Let these horses out of the barn for Del Barton. Because if you play tempo lacrosse against Summit, you're not going to beat them. You will not beat them. Brian Hadley for the Hilltoppers was sensational against Mountain Lakes, winning faceoffs. And if you're an opponent of Summit and they win faceoffs, you got problems. That's why Connor Kirst and Connor Mackey have got to come up huge at the X. They split time for the Green Wave, but they better win more than 50%. Otherwise, Summit is going to have you right where they want you. Summit doesn't want to score a lot of goals. That's not what they're about. They want to get you into tempo. And they're going to sit in that zone. And Bebot, the goalie, has been playing wonderful lacrosse. I got to be honest with you. I was shocked they scored 10 goals in the semifinal win against Mountain Lakes. James Strabley was great. 5 overall points. These guys have now won 21 consecutive games. 21 since the overtime loss to Chatham. Strabley is going to know this, okay? That there is a game within the game on Saturday. Everyone goes gaga about Summit's defense, and they should. They allow 3 goals per game. That unbelievable zone defense. You know who's sick and tired of hearing that? Otterman, Welsh, Slotowitz, Malilla. These guys can play. They can play. They're going to man you up. They're going to beat you up. They're gonna suck you in, think you're going by them, then they're gonna come over the top, strip the ball. They have heard enough about this Summit zone. But now it's on the Del Barton offense to make these defensive guys look good because now you gotta go score. That's why McBride's got to attack, Dowiak attack, McCarthy attack, Cadre attack. Attack, attack, attack. Kowalski was flat out sensational against Bergen Catholic in the non-public A championship. They trailed against Ridgewood in the semifinals 12-6. And this goes back to the point. They're all going to tell you how good they are in the third quarter. Well, I'll tell you this, Del Barton. If you wait till the third quarter, you ain't winning your first Tournament of Champions title since 2006. Game on! Put a face on the Green Wave! Get on the bus and run! Just keep running. Running, running, and you'll be okay. You play slow down, you lose again. You lose again. Greenwich has done wonderful things the last 4 or 5 years in lacrosse. One of the things they haven't done well is play against Fairfield Prep. Let's get it on! Connecticut quarterfinals. Well, it's a flat-out joke, as you heard us say on Quick Hits Connecticut. Whoever is seeding these teams in the state of Connecticut, ridiculous. If you paid attention to what happened in the Class M on Wednesday, I mean, it's like all the top seeds, except New Canaan and Darien, they're gone. They're gone. They're gone. You have to base it on talent and not records. That's why this is an absolute shame that Fairfield Prep at Greenwich is a quarterfinal game. This is at least a semifinal game. And now you have Prep as the 10 seed. Stop it. I mean, look, Fairfield Prep, a legendary program, not just in Connecticut, but in the tri-state. They can put their white jerseys away when the regular season ended. They don't need them. They're going to be the road team for every game. Every single game. It's impossible for them to put white jerseys on again. Can't happen. Because the seed they were given was terrible. Terrible. And who does it affect? It affects Greenwich. Now, eventually you were going to have to play them. But after Greenwich rolled Ludlow and Prep played terrific defense against Newtown, the SWC champ, now you got to get it on. Here we go. But I'm going to tell you this, Prep. Greenwich ain't Newtown. Okay? They're not. They're not. And they know that. They know that. Fairfield Prep is the defending state champs in Class L. They have beaten Greenwich now 4 times in a row, including the shocker this year in April. A game that Prep coach Chris Smolkeis told me, don't even come watch. We don't have a chance. And they beat Greenwich 12-11. They beat him because on that day, the birthday boy, J.J. O'Connor, the sophomore goalie, was flat out terrific. He was really, really good. Burke Smith was great that day. Austin Sims, not at full strength back then, did a little bit, but now he's playing real well. Chris Brown, the freshman, is going to be one of the best ever to play at Prep. Johnny Edmonds, player. Pat Lambert, I love this guy, brings a sense of toughness to this team. They lost that game 12-11, and that has not set well in Cardinal country since then. This is a Greenwich team that was upset that they lost the FCAC championship. They looked wonderful. They were left for dead in the semifinal against Ridgefield, down 5-1 at the half. They come back and win it in overtime. And then the worst part, losing the game was tough. Losing Kyle Foote, the wonderful player bound for Loyola next year, to a ruptured Achilles, that was just flat out devastating. Yesterday, in the first round win, the coaches had the number 3 on their backs. That's Kyle Foote's number. This team is now playing football, or footlax. They're playing for Kyle, and they're playing to win a state title. And what you saw the other day, Sam Salibi filling in for Foote, did a great job. Bobby Goggin, terrific job, sophomore. Will Perry, terrific. Finneran, I've gone on and on about Luke all year, great player. Decker Curran now has to be the guy, okay? Junior, bound from Michigan, a wonderful, wonderful player. Tommy Rogan has had a terrific year in the pipes. Now the junior has got to take it to a whole nother level, okay? Whole nother level. To me, and I've said it before, and you saw when Prep came back in that, when Greenwich came back in that game against Prep, a game they led, then gave it away, and when they came back late, Mike Sullivan at X was flat out spectacular. Sully's got to get it going right from the beginning, okay? Got to get it going. There was a flu bug going through Greenwich back in April when they lost this game. And if the Cardinals tell you they lost this game because of the flu, they're lying to you, okay? If they came out and fell behind 8-0, I'll give you that. But when you lead early and then lead 7-5 and then give the game away, the only reason you're sick is because you played poorly, not because you had some flu bug. That was there for the taking, gave it away. Gave it away. They are not happy about the loss to Darien. They are not happy about the loss earlier this year to Fairfield Prep, and they are devastated with the loss of Kyle Foote. They're going to be happy on Saturday. Put a face on the Cardinals. There will be a new L state champ in the state of Connecticut, as our number 20 team will go down against number 8. We talked about the seedings. Flat out joke. Greenwich is a perfect seed at 2. Maybe not. Because how do you give them the 2 and Simsbury the 1? Simsbury, within the state of CIAC games, is unbeaten. They did lose to Avon Old Farms, a prep school. So they have 1 loss the whole year, but as the CIAC sees it, they have none. Not a problem. Still shouldn't be the 1 seed. Let's get it on! I said on Quick Hits the other day that it was just a terrible job of seeding the L tournament. And this is what I mean. Simsbury is the 1 seed. But Paulie McNulty and the Wreckers of Staples, they love it. They love it. Right now, this Staples team is angry. Why? Why? Because they felt that they should have gotten to the FCX semifinals. And that great comeback against New Canaan, and then when Stanton scored one with 7 seconds left, sent the Wreckers home, and New Canaan on to the semifinals. They've been stewing since then. Had a couple of scrimmages. Scrimmages ain't real games. They get you ready. And what they did in the opening round of the state tournament is they went on the road to West Hartford, beat the 8th seed. Staples, the 9 seed, beat Hall 14-4. 14-4. Will Johnson, spectacular. Michael Reilly, unbelievable. Cole Gindells, the goalie, I love him. You heard me say he was the best player on the field other than Stanton in that loss, that heartbreaking loss to New Canaan. Staples is 13-5, the 9 seed. Simsbury 18-1 overall, but 16-0 coming in the eyes of the CIAC. They have played no FCX teams this year. None. You look at this and you say, wow. New Fairfield will play New Canaan on Saturday in the Class M quarterfinals. That game will be running time by halftime. And yet the top seed, Simsbury, went to 6 overtimes with the Rebels earlier this year and won 9-8. Again, they are doing backflips over there in Westport right now. I think that they will beat the winner of New Milford and Amity in the semifinals, which means if I'm saying Staples is winning the semifinals, then they're winning the quarterfinals. Put a face on the Wreckers. This is a good team. This is a good team. This is a team that made it to the championship game last year in L and lost to Fairfield Prep. Shame on Staples if they don't get to Brian McMahon to play in the championship game on June 14th. The way the bracket broke, it was perfect for them. The 9th seed is playing for a championship. Okay, so in Connecticut on Saturday, it'll be the quarterfinals. In the state of New York, it's done. There's only 6 teams left. And here are the games that you could see live on MSGVarsity.com. Fayetteville Manly is going to get on a bus, come down 17, and roll into Long Island. Better leave early, man, because that big horse race, that's going to be a problem crossing over into Hempstead and Uniondale, Long Island. Massapequa doesn't care. They hope they stay on that bus forever. And even if it's a quick ride, ain't going to matter. Massapequa's playing unbelievable lacrosse. Jamesville, DeWitt, Yorktown, that's the B championship at 1:30. And then Casanova and Bronxville in a rematch of last year's games. Bronxville lost that game 13-11 Sunday morning. For those of you who are out there watching the game live and you don't want to watch it on your phone, you want your peepers to do the work for you, get yourself a nice bagel, nice cup of coffee, settle into 4:14 on Sunday morning, and you can watch Fayetteville Manliness and Massapequa. I will be reevaluating Raph, Jimmy, and Jackie. If Mr. Lax will do it alone, he'll do it alone. 6 picks this week. I fully expect to run the table. Enjoy the games, everybody.